Hello, this is your author Mark coming to you with another interesting discussion. Today we're going to talk about something totally different. For a couple of days now, I've been watching some YouTube, and what I was watching is a documentary about dating in China. And what I did notice is that the thing that's happening in China, it is starting to happen here, and that is that women set too high standards for dating and getting married to men. Now, what does that all mean? Well, to shorten my discussion is that they are not really looking for men to marry to raise a family. They're just looking for a, may I say, Prince Charming. Now, yeah, this is happening in China, but in my opinion, this is happening here too. Now, here's the rub in this whole deal. I mean, women today, you hear these matchmakers from China complaining that women want houses, that women want somebody with Mercedes Benz. They want them to be good looking. They want them to have that the Chinese man owns 2 or 3 houses. Blah blah blah. But in reality, this is happening here too. I mean, okay, for example, dating in America and even marriage is becoming tough too, because, in my opinion, the women have unrealistic expectations. They set their bars of expectation so high that it's basically impossible for us men to meet their standards. And then they have enough. Those women have enough nerve to complain that when they turn 35 or get into their 40s, then they're going to say that nobody wants them. Okay, now let me explain to you what I'm talking about. Okay, now we're going to go back to high school, when I was in high school back in the 90s. Now, there used to be a nice movie theater. It used to cost $1.50 to take a girl to a movie. Okay, fine. And there used to be a nice restaurant out there called Sizzlers where you could have gotten a cheap meal out. When I asked the girl out, okay, I asked her if she would like to go to a movie with me, to the $1.50 movie. Up where I live, there used to be a discount movie theater. Okay, it wasn't that great, but the movie theater was okay. Nothing wrong with it. I asked the girl out. She's like, and I said, would you like to go to a $1.50 movie? We'll catch a movie. We'll have some. We'll have some fun on a Saturday night. Blah blah blah. And then she's like, No, I'm going out with somebody else. Well, fine. You can do that. You can go out with somebody else. I don't care. But when you girls turn 35 and when you go from your late 30s into your early 40s, and then you're going to complain that nobody wants you, and then you guys have enough nerve to say, "Oh, I'm going to be single all my life." Well, I don't care. Well, good for you. Nobody can force you to do anything you don't want to do. But you know what? We don't have to take your stuff either. Now, look. But this documentary that I was watching, it kind of gave me an insight how women in China think. Yes, but in my opinion, I feel that the women think the same way in America. Now, sometimes my friend asked me one time when I showed him this video, he said, "Mark, do you think the women are nothing but a bunch of gold diggers?" Well, apparently, if they only want us for our houses, for the Mercedes and what we have, and then because they don't like us after they get bored with us after a while, then they get bored with us after a while. Then they divorce us. Then they get half because you didn't do a proper a prenuptial agreement. Then in my opinion, that's true. That's true. They are gold diggers. Now. But is there a solution to this problem? Yes, there are several solutions to the problem. Now, here's what I would like to do. Would I like to get married, have children, all that? Yes. Would I like to do this as soon as possible? Maybe. But what I would have to do is, is either what I would have, and this is no BS. What I would like to do is move to the Middle East. I mean, at least women there, they're not. I mean, they're allowed to get divorced, but guess what? You're not going to lose a house. You're not going to lose your car. You're not going to lose anything. I mean, for example, if a Middle Eastern woman brings her furniture, and she's allowed to take her furniture that she brought into the house with her. That's fine. But the thing is, you're not going to lose a house. You're not. I mean, the thing is, and then what I feel men have become. Nothing a lot of the Chinese matchmakers, what they were talking about in that documentary was that American men and the Chinese men in that degree too, to some degree too, they have become nothing but but they use a funny word. It's called that they become simps, that they're trying to impress women and all that they buy them all this stuff. Now, look, the thing is, our economy in America itself is not that great either. Okay. So I mean that and they have enough nerve. The American ladies have enough nerve to call us all cheap and things like that. Well, look. The thing is, you know, of course, now what I mean. By the way, this was a very interesting documentary. I am going to leave a link to this documentary in the comments section, and I'm going to leave a link in the description, because what I do notice, like I said, what I do notice is that that women themselves are setting a too high of standards. Now is it still possible to find a good woman in America? Yes, yes it is. But you really gotta be really careful while you do it. Now, is it easier? For example, is it easier? Does this get easier in the countries like the Philippines, Dubai, like the United Arab Emirates, or even Vietnam, or any of those Asian countries? Yeah, it is for a foreigner. It is a lot easier, but you still really got to be careful. Now, I am going to leave the link to this video below. But what I'm saying is, like, you know, that you know, a lot of people in China, they're saying that people aren't, not as many people are getting married and all this stuff, that the birth rates decline and blah blah blah. Well, guess what? The same thing is happening here in America, and that is because in reality, as the Chinese man would say, and I do agree with this, and I'm going to use a Chinese word, and some of you Chinese people, if I say something wrong, then please correct me. But you know, we are not, because American men are, as the Chinese put it, we are not what we call simps anymore. So, and the word simp means basically, that we're not going to, that men aren't getting married and all that, because, why get married if you're going to get divorced in a few years? So, like I said, if you guys like this video, I'm going to leave a link to this particular video that I'm commentating on. I'm going to leave it in the description, and I'm going to leave it in the comment section. And I mean, those videos are very, may I say, informative, and it gives you the insight of the dating market. But in reality, this is happening in America too. But the next thing I want to talk about, and this is the last thing I want to talk about, is like when you have a disability, you are, in my opinion, you are being shut out of the dating market. Now, some people may say, well, why don't you get a disabled girl? Well, excuse me, no. And I'm going to say in that case, no. No, because, say for example, if you guys don't think, because for example, what if in my case, for example, well, no, but what if you're disabled? Let's put it this way: what if you're disabled, right? And then your medical condition gets worse. Then who's going to who's going to take care of you then? But you know what? That's all right, because guess what? Guess what? I mean, the thing is, they say, oh, why don't you get a disabled girl? Well, like I said, see if you. But what if in some, like I said, in some cases your disability gets worse? Who's going to take care of you then? So in this case, unfortunately, in my case, I would never date a person with a disability, because it's not that I don't like them, but the problem is, I've got to think about, you got to start, when you're disabled, you got to start thinking about your future. So now, like I said, would I be interested in possibly moving to the Middle East to pursue a relationship? I would say maybe, because to be honest with you, I would say maybe. Would I be interested in moving to the Philippines to actually pursue a relationship? Again, maybe. It depends on the circumstances. But at least, and then what's even funny, and I'm going to end it with this. What's even funny, when a lot of those Chinese matchmakers in that documentary are talking about 37, 38, 30, even 45-year-old women saying that they're left out of the what do you call it, the dating market and all that. Well, if the women said, what I do notice too is that these women are not interested, not really, in my opinion, they're not really interested in finding husbands, but what they really are interested in finding Prince Charming. But those women set their standards. Those Chinese women American women do this too, mind you. They do this too. They sent they set their standards too high as well. So and then when they turn 35, 40 years old, when they get into their 40s, then they'll be what do you call it? Then they're going to be all by himself, and then they what they become is basically they become what do you call as the Chinese put it, that they become what we call leftover women, and it's because for example, say you do take them to a $1.50 movie or whatever, then they complain about dates and all that stuff. Well, and then when they turn like 35 or 40 years old, then at the end of the day, nobody wants them, because. And the reason that nobody really wants them, ladies and gentlemen, is because they set first of all, they set their standards too high. By the way, American women do this too, and then they're not. I don't think they are interested in what do you call, pursuing marriage or love or whatever. But what they are interested in, ladies and gentlemen, is they're only interested in basically, I'm not going to use this word, but in this case I'm going to have to. It's called they're basically interested in the other person's money. So that's not good either. Now, if you guys like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and please comment on them on Facebook, on Twitter, and all those other wonderful things. So I'm going to say goodbye for now. And by the way, I am going to leave a link to the video that I mentioned in this particular that I commentated on. I'm going to leave a what do you call, a link to those videos, so you can look at those videos yourself and you can tell me what you think. Now I'm going to say goodbye for now, and I will see you in the next one.